You wake up with a strange numbness in your legs. A few months later, your vision blurs. You are diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and you are left with one agonizing question. Why me? Why is my body suddenly attacking my own brain and spinal cord? For decades, doctors had no answer. But in 2022, a monumental study from Harvard University changed everything. They found the smoking gun. Today, we expose the viral secret behind MS. This video is for educational purposes only. Multiple sclerosis is a progressive neurological disease. Do not stop taking your prescribed disease-modifying therapies, DMTs, without your neurologist's supervision. Dietary and functional protocols are designed to be complementary to standard medical care, not an acute replacement. Always consult your doctor before making radical changes. If you live with MS, I want to begin with something many people never say clearly enough. This is real, this is serious, and the fear you feel is rational. MS is a progressive inflammatory, demyelinating disease of the central nervous system, and damage to myelin disrupts the electrical insulation that nerves depend on to transmit signals efficiently. That is why symptoms can feel so unpredictable. Numbness, blurred vision, weakness, balance problems, cognitive fog, and exhaustion can seem to appear without warning. For years, the old story was that MS was simply bad genetic luck. But biology is rarely that simple. Genes can load the gun, but environment often pulls the trigger. The major shift came when a Harvard Chan School study of more than 10 million U.S. military personnel found that after Epstein-Barr virus infection, the risk of MS increased 32-fold. That is not a small association. That is the kind of finding that forces medicine to re-examine the entire origin story of the disease. Now, I want to be careful and precise. That finding does not mean every person with Epstein-Barr virus will develop MS. It means that EBV is not a side character in this story. It is a central suspect. And once you see that, the next question becomes unavoidable. How can one common virus be linked so powerfully to a disease of the brain and spinal cord? The answer leads us into the immune system itself. Because if we understand the trigger, we can finally understand the fire. And if we can understand the fire, we can start making smarter decisions about how to calm it, support the nervous system, and work alongside the treatments your neurologist has already given you. In the next chapter, we go inside Epstein-Barr virus itself. And the mechanism is startling. Do not stop DMTs without your neurologist, and keep any functional approach complementary to standard MS care. Now we get to the breakthrough that changed the conversation. In January 2022, Harvard researchers reported a longitudinal analysis of more than 10 million U.S. military service members, following them over time with stored blood samples. Out of that enormous cohort, 955 people were diagnosed with MS during service. And when the researchers looked back at the infection timeline, they found something extraordinary. The risk of MS rose 32-fold after Epstein-Barr virus infection, while infection with other viruses did not show the same effect. That is why this study mattered so much. It was not a guess, and it was not a theory built on rumors. It was a large prospective signal that pointed directly at EBV. To understand why this is such a big deal, remember what EBV is. Epstein-Barr virus is human herpesvirus 4, one of the most common human viruses in the world, and it spreads primarily through saliva. Most people are infected at some point in life, and after infection, the virus becomes latent, meaning inactive, but not gone. It can remain in the body and later reactivate. That lifelong persistence is part of what makes EBV so biologically important. EBV has a particular relationship with B cells, which are immune cells that help coordinate antibody responses. The virus infects B lymphocytes and can establish a latent infection within them. In plain English, EBV does not always leave the scene after the first encounter. It can settle into the immune system's memory network, waiting silently until conditions allow it to stir again. That matters because MS is not just about a virus being present. It is about a long-term immune disturbance that can keep the nervous system under pressure. And this is where the Harvard finding becomes more than a headline. The study also tracked neurofilament light chain, a biomarker of nerve degeneration typical in MS, and it rose only after EBV infection. That tells us the viral infection was not just happening in the background. It was tracking alongside nervous system injury. Put together, the data strongly support EBV as a leading cause of MS, while also reminding us of an important truth. This is not the whole story for every person, because susceptibility, timing, and the immune response still matter. But the center of gravity has shifted. EBV is no longer a footnote. It is now one of the main biological suspects in MS. Now we come to the mechanism that makes this so tragic. Your nervous system depends on myelin, the protective sheath wrapped around nerve fibers, which acts like electrical insulation, allowing signals to travel quickly and cleanly. When myelin is damaged, the signal does not flow properly, and neurological symptoms begin to appear. In MS, the immune system targets that myelin, and that is what drives the disease process. Here is where molecular mimicry enters the story. Think of the immune system as a highly trained police force. Its job is to identify the EBV criminal and neutralize it. But some EBV proteins, especially EBNA1, resemble certain proteins found in the central nervous system so closely that the immune system can confuse the target. In research, EBNA1-related immune responses have been shown to cross-react with CNS antigens including glial CAM, anoctamin-2, and myelin-related targets. That is not random chaos. That is mistaken identity at the molecular level. So the immune system is not trying to destroy your body for no reason. It is trying to protect you, but it has been misled by a biological disguise. The antibodies and immune cells aimed at EBV can end up striking the myelin sheath instead, like a police unit chasing a suspect into the wrong building and accidentally firing on civilians inside. That is the tragedy of molecular mimicry. The enemy wears a mask that looks too much like home. And once that misfire begins, inflammation can keep repeating the damage cycle. This is why the EBV-MS story matters so much. It gives us a biologically coherent explanation for how an infection can help ignite an autoimmune attack in the nervous system. It also explains why treatment has to be strategic. The immune system must be regulated, the viral trigger must be respected, and the nervous system must be protected. In the next chapter, we look at what that means in practical terms. So what do we do with this information? This is where modern neurology and functional medicine can begin working together instead of competing with each other. Your neurologist's disease-modifying therapies, your DMTs, are designed to reduce inflammatory attacks and slow progression by calming the immune system's misdirected aggression. And for many patients, these medications are essential. But functional medicine asks an additional question. If EBV remains latent inside immune cells, what environmental factors may reactivate immune stress and keep inflammation elevated? One of the most important variables in MS research is vitamin D. Low vitamin D status has repeatedly been associated with increased MS risk and greater disease activity. Vitamin D is not just a vitamin. It behaves like an immune-regulating hormone. It helps influence T-cell behavior, inflammatory signaling, and immune tolerance. This is why many neurologists closely monitor vitamin D levels in patients with MS as part of a broader management strategy. Then there is stress. Chronic psychological stress changes cortisol signaling, disrupts immune regulation, impairs sleep quality, and may contribute to inflammatory flares. Many people with MS already know this intuitively. A major stress event is often followed by worsening fatigue, cognitive fog, or symptom aggravation. The nervous system and immune system are constantly talking to each other. And finally, nutrition matters, not because food magically cures MS, but because inflammation, metabolic health, mitochondrial support, and immune resilience are deeply connected. The goal is not false promises. The goal is creating an internal environment that is less hospitable to chronic inflammation and more supportive of neurological stability. By this point, you can probably see why MS management has to become multi-layered. It is not only about suppressing inflammation. It is also about supporting the physical resilience of the nervous system itself. Because when nerves are repeatedly exposed to inflammatory stress, the system becomes vulnerable. Electrical signaling becomes inefficient, fatigue deepens, and recovery becomes harder. That is why neurological support matters. And I want to repeat something clearly before we go further. Always continue working with your neurologist, always follow your prescribed DMT protocol unless your physician advises otherwise, and never treat online information as a replacement for medical care. Functional strategies are designed to complement, not replace, evidence-based neurological treatment. This is where some people begin exploring what I call a premium central nervous system support protocol. The goal is not to cure MS, the goal is to provide additional nutritional and botanical support for irritated nerve pathways, help soothe neurological stress, and support the integrity of the nervous system while patients continue their medical treatment journey. One example is a botanical nerve support formula like Nervigen Pro, which is designed around herbs and nutrients traditionally used to support nerve comfort and central nervous system health. For some people, protocols like this become part of a broader strategy focused on inflammation control, restorative sleep, stress reduction, and neurological resilience. If you want to learn more about the neurological support blueprint discussed in this video, check the link in the description below. And remember, MS is a serious neurological disease. Never stop your prescribed DMTs without your neurologist's supervision. Complementary lifestyle and nutritional strategies are meant to support your overall neurological health alongside standard medical care, not replace it.